See how I try, but I lie to authorities because my freedom means more to me. People wanna take control of the thing, but I'm a drunk and disorderly. Stun on clowns like a circus act. Go to hell with a mercy at. Find a well with your thirsty at. Ring a bell cause it's church, yeah. My whole life should be censored. Done been around the best words. Slap a chick while her friends squirt and tell her hate her mother ever. Feed the machine like a tech nerd. Alexander McQueen for the sweater. Ashamed, I gotta do better. Place the blame on me or whoever. Act like that's gonna change the weather.
You think you're slick, nigga be talking.
Man, I'm just I did that whole live and it was on private the whole time. It's like word.
Know what the fuck I mean. How my cream, popping the beam. I'm coming out clean, I'm on the scene. You can't stop it about my profit. Niggas be dropping on the floor, on the go. Spitting that crack, go selling that bitch on the low. Nigga get back for the truck, go pop. Not selling my soul, no, won't go pop. Straight out the jungle, niggas ain't humble. All of my stacks be jumbo now. I'ma tumble now when I'm on the block. Serving the rock, back to the fiend. Second that green, all black in the back. Please take out what you see, not playing no games, not saying no names. Don't get fucked up, bitch, stay in your lane. Before I come back, bitch, spraying them things. Hoes, no, I'm changing the game. They calling the cops, I'm swallowing bras. I ain't trying to get caught. Some of these bitches be crisscross. Big boss in this bitch like Rick Ross. Clothes and whips from the O's and zips. At the popo, ask for the closure list. For a bitch like me, gon' load the clip. And your soul gon' live. We supposed to sip that activist. A chick like me gon' slap a bitch. I got stats to get. My nigga Perk, he the swerving king. He hit me up after serving beans, bitch.
What you living like? Money, power, respect. What the bees like? What my money, power, respect. What it seem like? Money, power, respect. Slip through your hands.
Oh, that's good, everybody. Yeah, it's your boy. Oh, Shady.
Oh my God.
Duke Jackson. Back at it again with another episode. Oh. Recently, I got a email from Brother Jack. He sent me an email regarding a particular interview from former NBA player Eddie Curry. Now, those of you who remember Eddie Curry, he came out in the 2001 draft. This was the same draft class as Kwame Brown, Tyson Chandler, Paul Gasol. And, you know, Eddie Curry came from a Chicago suburb, and people were comparing him to the next Shaquille O'Neal at the time. And, you know, this is when, you know, a lot of the NBA players are coming out straight from high school. And then many of them were not developing into great players like Eddie Curry. And so that's why I think the league, you know, changed that rule until they needed to stay, you know, 1 year in college and stuff like that. Well, anyways, be it as it may, Eddie Curry made a lot of money in his NBA career. And what he did is, in high school at 17, he was dealing with a young lady that he ended up getting pregnant. And what happened at that particular time, he did the thing that he felt was right, and he married her. Now, of course, let me just talk about this, because a lot of black men have this proclivity, and I've made this mistake. You know, a lot of times we deal with ladies before we have something, and we think that we know them, because we tend to do that. We tend to want to stick with the lady that we've known all the time. And sometimes it works out. Like, look at LeBron James and Savannah James. He's been knowing her a long time, and she's been solid with him. She hasn't, you know, done no flip-flopping and things like that. But maybe that's because LeBron and Savannah James are very compatible people. Okay? In the case of Eddie Curry's first wife, she and him were not compatible. Different personalities. He's a young guy, you know, making a lot of money, signing a lot of contracts. And what happened was that, like, maybe as soon as he got married, they split up and got divorced. He had no protection. He's paying her like $16,000 a month. And every deal that he was getting, like, you know, Fleer, he talked about Tops, you know, he talked about Nike. Every kind of deal that he got was like a marital split. Now, this is, you know, a young lady who didn't have nothing. You know, didn't come from anything, didn't want to work, didn't want to do anything in her life. All she wanted to do was get his money. And he was shocked because he felt like, you know, man, I know this girl. You know, we've been close and everything like that, you know, before I had anything. But let me tell you something. Here's the problem, man. Money changes people. Especially broke people. People think that money changes the individuals who go out and make it. It can change your lifestyle. It can change where you live. You know, it can change the people you have access to. But the people it really changes are the people who are around you. Because then they start asking you for extra, like, exorbitant amount of shit that they never would have did. They're the ones that change. Trust me, I know. Now, all of a sudden, you know, your friend, you know, all of a sudden, you know, he needs some money. And it's really not even just the people that know you, some people who don't even know you at all. They're the ones. Okay? So what happened was, he talked about it on Vlad TV. She got pregnant, had the baby. Then he was afraid to buy anything. Okay? Afraid to buy anything. She was trying to take everything from him. Houses, cars, all that stuff. Okay? So they never even lived together, guys. So what happened was he was paying $16,000 a month. His lifestyle changed. Now he also got into a lot of bad financial situation, like most young NBA athletes, never knowing how to have no money. All right. So what ended up happening was he got tricked into not paying the state anymore and then giving her directly the money. Gave her over $1 million. She went and told the state of Illinois that he didn't give her nothing. Guess what? He had the proof and all that. You know what the state of Illinois said? You didn't pay child support through us, therefore you gave her $1 million worth of gifts. Listen to what I'm saying. $1 million worth of gifts. Not only was that the issue, he talked about how she drug on the divorce. You know, talking about she's pregnant again and dragging on the divorce. But here's the main issue. Now she is going after his pension. His NBA player pension. Now, this is because, this is after not wanting to let him see his son, not wanting to let his son come see with him or live with him. All that, she's just being a bitch. Now she's coming for the pension. And I'm telling guys that have money, guys that want to have money, and I'm talking to the guys who don't have money right now, because one day you very well have money. It's good that you know this now, because Eddie Curry didn't know this. People are looking to use you. The end. You better be careful, guys. I'm telling you, I got a little taste of money in the last 3 or 4 years, and I already see it in my own personal life. Especially from people that you quote unquote know. A lot of times it's not really so much the family. At least in my family, it's not really, like that so much. But friends, girlfriends, you'll find out how much people really don't care about you, dog. And if you are a man that don't have money, it don't mean that one day you won't have money. Because most people that are going to get money and they're going to be in the top 2 to 3% are going to be people who had nothing, which might be me or you. But you know how you can lose it? Giving it to people who don't work for it. All the money that he's given her, bought her a car, bought her a house, did everything for her. She never did nothing for herself, man. And because you made that one mistake with the wrong girl, the wrong lady, it creates a financial cancer in your life. I've seen it. I've seen guys, normal guys, who worked hard, worked to get a pension, married the wrong woman, lose 60% of your pension. Lose your house. Lose your car. You worked all day. This person has done nothing. This person won't do anything for themselves. And you upgrade a loser like that to live in the same lifestyle that you're going to. Listen, dog, it's the worst thing. It'll make you want to hurt somebody. It'll make you want to hurt somebody. And I just want to say that a lot of brothers, especially a lot of black men, need to understand, man, people don't really care about you like you think they do. People are gunning for you, man. People want what you have. Even if it's a little bit, they want what you have. Goons, women, family. And you gotta find ways to protect what you got, because people want to take it from you. And the fact that this lady's going through his pension, going for it, how low can you be? How low can you be? You gotta be so fucking low to do that. Guess what? You're just a means to the end, guy. A lot of you dudes out here think these women are like, you're just so, enamored with you because you got so much game. It's all what you can do for him, bro. That's it. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. Another episode.
YouTube. Sad about listening to she's blockchain. Yeah, here. this was heartbreaking. Ain't even gonna cap.
Having the highest quality essential oils that you can have, but in the process.
Travel pillows? We've been wearing them the wrong way.
Did you know you're supposed to twist the seasoning bottle, not shake it?
This is how you debone a chicken wing.
Twisted.
Shut up.
TikTok taught me.
We're also very interested in doing good in the world.
In 2010, doTERRA started Healing Hands, a charitable foundation that invests in developing communities where doTERRA sources their essential oils.
As all of you know, when we go in to a place like Somalia or like Somaliland, we want to give back. We always do this, right?
Sanag Specialty Hospital, built in 2021 in partnership with their sourcing partner Asimedi, is one example of doTERRA trying to give back.
In our first month, we saw 2,000 patients there. Everything you can imagine. And just many miracles have already happened and have already taken place.
They also claim to have built 2 boarding schools in the region.
We built the first school in HoodAffairz in Somaliland in 2015. The second school we built in Childebert in the next year in 2016.
doTERRA still boasts that it's built a boarding school in a remote village called El Dibr, but the locals there say there's no such thing, so we're currently...
No cap, I'm mad fucking tight. Oh, but let's continue.
on a 13-hour drive to reach this small community to find out the truth. El Dibr is made up of just 50 families, all from the same clan, each one financially reliant on the frankincense trade. Salam. Faisal Abukar Hassan is the village chief. With the support of clan elders, he oversees every aspect of life, from helping solve disputes to making sure his people can access healthcare and education. So this is El Dibr. It's very small.
It's very small village here.
So is there anywhere that a school could be hidden here that we wouldn't know there's a school?
You can go up at this small hill and you can look around. There is no hidden school.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I have a question for you all. Is there a boarding school here in El Dibr?
No.
Do you know that there is an American company that says that it's funded a boarding school here? Have you heard about that?
waxaanu ka maqalay idaacadahaasaan ka maqalay isagoo beena waxaasaanu ka maqalay dhulka
miidiyuun baanu ka maqalay
waxaanu ka maqalay markaasaanu shir jiraa idanana qabanay oo nidhi ma jiro
قالنا المادة عربي هاي اللغة العربية معها نيمي وكي وكلا خمر الأمر واقعين حولا يساوي واحد
So this is the main school for the village?
Yeah, this is the main school for El Dibr, which there are 2 classes we built in 2006, and this is the children. This is the only main school in El Dibr.
That's crazy.
In 2016, Faisal Hassan learned doTERRA was putting the El Dibr boarding school in a promotional video. He contacted the company because the school hadn't been built and he was concerned their money had been stolen. doTERRA responded saying, quote, "Our staff has personally visited both of these schools constructed in Orwain, so we're well aware of their existence and the prudent use of resources for their construction." End quote. Orwain is 320 miles from El Dibr. While there's no reason to believe the schools there were not built, doTERRA never acknowledged El Dibr and did not respond to our specific question about the missing school.
واتي لشدني واتنتي سيدتي كمبلغو مركا نغا قادناي شركدو نغا قادن jirtay noocaas bay
doTERRA supplier Asimedi started buying resin from the families in El Dibr around 8 years ago. Harvesters like Adan Mira Ahmed say middlemen for Asli Mehdi promised him a large payout if they stopped selling to other suppliers.
And then they ended up paying him at full, which is so messed up, man. They really grimy, man. Facts.
Then, 2 years later, the company stopped doing business in the village, saying the resin was low quality. What impact did that have when they decided to stop purchasing from you?
والله سوي إنه يعني ده بيجي يعني أنت أدقو واحد السعر أنتو ده وصوك على الدلقاء يبسدوا ده بدنا مركي ده بعد واحد كاي يبسده بقى.
Running while black is not running from anything. It's pushing forward, having everything. Communal, powerful. We represent.
You seem very angry about it.
نعم ها سوي. خسارة بنقول عاد.
What do you think of the American company that uses Asli Mehdi to purchase frankincense?
أنا قد أوعد من يعني استريد ده إذا أنا قد نو بحث أنا أنا له أنا أنا صوب ورنا أنا قد نو بحث وكا.
Faisal Hassan says Asli Mehdi is determined to monopolize the frankincense trade in Somaliland by manipulating the market. The chief blames one man for this, Asli Mehdi's owner, Barkat Hassan.
marka hadduu maqlo ninkani dad baa meesha yimi cid agencies oo isaga ka mid ah oo wakiilo waabuu soo diraya 8 iyo 7 kiiloogiiba siiya buu odhanaya si uu dadka macaamiisha ah uu yiraahdo anugu baa idin siinaya Asli Mehdi biyada ka iibsada oo aadinina dadka localka iyo gobolada ha aadinina buu odhanaya ana idin ka iibinaya.
So you're basically saying in order for regular trade to resume here, Barkat Hassan is the problem and he needs to be taken out of the industry.
waxaan taa kula talin lahaa dawladdu inay ninka ka qaado liisanka dhoofinta sababtoo ah danta dadka ku jirta.
Harvesters, villagers, clan elders and others here say Hassan is trying to control the frankincense supply through intimidation. He's also interfered with other journalists trying to report on this frankincense trade in Somaliland. It took only 2 days in El Dibir before someone connected to Hassan contacted our local team, demanding information about this story. Okay. Just had to come to my hotel room and lock the door. The rest of the team have done the same thing as a precautionary measure because we understand that there is a man who's in the reception downstairs who is asking to speak to us in order to ask us questions. We do know that he was sent by Barkat Hassan, and we also know that Barkat Hassan is very angry that we are questioning his practices. And so we are avoiding whoever it is that's downstairs, and we're going to just try and get out of this town as quickly as possible. I think I've got everything. We're with police in Puntland in northern Somalia, which is also a major frankincense producing region. But unlike Somaliland, there are active militant groups, which is why we're with these guys here. In fact, ISIS controls parts of the Golis Mountains, which you can see around us, and their influence extends right into cities, towns, and businesses. Next to Somaliland is Puntland, a porous and disputed region in Somalia. Basaso is its port city and where frankincense from the mountains is transported to be sorted. The governments of Somaliland and Puntland, non-governmental organisations and traders all told Vice News that the majority of resin exported from the region actually comes from here. doTERRA says they started sourcing from Puntland and later shifted to Somaliland, but they didn't respond to our questions about whether they still source from here. We spoke with traders who say Asli Mehdi, doTERRA's supplier, has bought from Puntland, but Asli Mehdi denies this, saying the disputed nature of the region means defined borders change frequently. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Wow, it smells so good.
Oh shit. Still alive as a motherfucker, huh? Kinda, sorta, kinda. Let's see. Oh yeah, we still in here. Busy.
That is resin straight off the tree. Look at that. Chief Farah Yusuf Ahmed has been a frankincense trader since 1998.
meeshii gabdhuhu kaga shaqaynayeen oo laga kala gurayay oo maxaan ku sheegay lagu safaynayay oo la kala saarayay oo loo kala saarayay shooto iyo maxaan ku sheegay casaan iyo miro.
Should we go inside? Can I sit with you? Thank you, shukran. What they're doing is flipping the resin, and when they do that, it separates all these little bits that you then throw out. And these women are doing this all day, 50 kilos in one day. Wow.
beeyada Somaliland laga raro boqolkiiba 9 iyo 5 waxay ka baxdaa Puntland. Anaga nala ka gadaa
My boy Slick back. He's crazy.
Why do you export so much to Somaliland?
Somaliland ee dalabka hadba meeshii aan u helno markaas baan ku khasbanahay inaan iib geysano. Haddii loo baahdo 500,000 kiilo 600,000 kiilo waa ka heli karnaa boosaaso. Laakiin waxay ku xiran tahay suuqa aan helno.
Ahmed sold to Asi Mehdi on and off for years. He was part of a lawsuit alleging the company and its owner, Barakat Hassan, didn't pay harvesters for their product in 2020. Did he ever put a contract in front of you and ask you to sign a document that showed how much he was going to pay you and how much you were going to sell to him?
qaabka uu shaqeeyo waa ii soo rar iyo maxaan kuu sheegaa xisaabtoo sare joog lagu kala goosto wax dokumenti oo sameeyona intaan ka ogahay male.
Is that a normal way of doing business here in Puntland?
One of the ways that I take charge of my career is to release a lot of music. Every day I write something. By the end of the year, I have 300 or 400 ideas. At this point, I've created 6 albums in the last 5 years.
Interesting.
macaamilka wanaagsan iyo waa in dokumenti la kala qortaa, nidaam la sameeyaa.
Ultimately, Hassan had to repay his debts to Ahmed. But other traders in Puntland say Hassan still hasn't paid them and have spoken out against him to local media.
halkan munaasibadan waxa weeye munaasibad ay sabab u tahay dad shacab ah oo ka cabanaya hanti laga dhacay oo ganacsade ah shirkadda beeyada ee Asli.
ninkaasu wuxuu la tegay hanti fara badan oo gaaraysa malaayiin dollar gaaraysa.
Wherever you go, you can find people that are willing to speak out against Barakat Hassan and Asli Mehdi, but we're hearing that some people in the supply chain are having to pay taxes on some of their profits to ISIS, and getting them to speak on camera has been nearly impossible. In Puntland, all businesses have to factor in both official taxes and payouts to insurgent groups like Al-Shabaab and ISIS. Somali officials have estimated that ISIS makes at least $72,000 a month here. It's too dangerous to openly talk about these kind of kickbacks. But one frankincense trader agreed to speak with us if we didn't reveal their identity. Can you explain the relationship between businessmen and ISIS in Puntland?
فرق أبو ما كنا حيا حق نعسي حق السكوادي كقالان بنعسته أو قابل يوي روان هدين نقطو
Every single businessman has to do this, without question. What if you say, no, I don't want to pay you any tax on my profit, and you refuse? What would happen? Has that ever happened before?
laba saac qiyaastii waxaa lagu soo tuuray bawgacmeed bakhaar ay leedahay shirkadda Al-Najax oo lagu iibiyo qalabka dhismaha.
People here believe ISIS is responsible for attacks like this, targeting businesses that don't pay them. If there was somebody who worked in the frankincense trade here in Puntland, but they said, no, I don't pay any tax to ISIS, I don't pay them anything, what would you say about that? Can you explain to people why it's such a dangerous thing to talk openly about this tax? While it's generally understood that this kind of extortion is the price of doing business in Puntland, there's no evidence that Asi Mehdi has paid money directly to ISIS. After hearing its owner's name, Barkat Hassan, frequently alongside allegations of exploiting harvesters, we wanted to hear from him. We've just exchanged text messages. He says he's happy to speak, so I'm going to give him a call now. Let's see if this goes through.
You know to your real one because you got a cracked screen on her phone. I'm just saying, I'm tired, yeah, my fault.
It's ringing. Hi, Barkat. So as I mentioned, I'm a journalist at Vice News, and we're currently in Somaliland. And we're working on a report about frankincense, and we're just wondering whether you'd be able to speak to us about that.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want to do it now?
Tomorrow would be a good time for us.
Yeah.
He's agreed to speak to us. We're going to arrange that interview for tomorrow. He seemed pretty up for it. And we'll put to him all the allegations that we've heard since we arrived here and see what he says.
I'm gonna be 10,000 with you. I heard Vice News works alongside crisis actors. Shout out to Call Me Kinfolk, you know. And yeah, let's just put that out there.
Yeah, he's outside.
Alright, Mike. Are you Mike?
Then walking first.
Hi.
Bonjour, ça va?
Hello. How you doing? I'm good.
I'm not very photogenic. Or camera there is with that.
What's the camera crew doing?
I want to know if there's anything you guys don't worry about. It's not gonna.
Oh, I'm just wondering.
Don't worry about it.
Barkat Hassan insisted on bringing his own camera crew. Once both teams were set up, he was ready to begin.
So we're doing our own thing. Let's get rolling, mate. I'm a bit of a rush.
You're in a rush?
I've got things to do, darling.
Yeah, of course you are.
So, you know? I'm good. Can we just get on with it, mate? Come on.
You good?
Everybody happy? We're good. Let's rock and roll.
If you could introduce yourself and what job you do, that would be great.
My name is Barkat Jibril Hassan, proprietor of Asi Mehdi, you know.
Who are you selling to internationally, and how much do you sell?
Well, I don't want to divulge because there's an NDA there. So it's the big buys, let's put it that way.
The essential oils business in the US is absolutely massive. And the focus very often with the businesses in the United States is how it's taken and bought from a sustainable supply chain. And is that something that you are made aware of when you're working with international buyers?
Yes, we're ethical. We try our best, you know. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works.
When doesn't it work?
When you have unintelligent people around, you know, and not understand how things work.
There were individuals that we spoke to that said that when they first did business with you, that Asli Mehdi came in, paid deposits, gaining their trust, but then didn't follow through on the full payments and instead paid using food and not money?
I mean, the Somaliland has a legal justice system. Why did they not go to and arrest me and take me to court or something like that? Can I ask you a question? Why did come to you? Who are you? Are you auditing me? Are you PricewaterhouseCoopers? Who are you?
Journalists. So we're journalists.
Well, you know what the journalists know. Fake news is the term of this, this generation now. I mean, come on, Vice. They're right too. I'm not putting you down. I'm not. It's just my opinion.
Absolutely allowed your opinion.
I have not. Right now.
And we spoke to multiple harvesters and in different regions and in different villages who said the same thing.
You could have paid them to say that. They
so you're saying that you've never paid anyone with food instead of cash?
And let me explain something to you, how the trade works. These people are, how can I say, they complain a lot. You been to Aragabo? Mm-hmm. You seen the multi-million-dollar hospital there?
We were having problems in Aragabo because I think you had been contacting some people.
I'm sorry. Do not accuse me of something I have not done. Here's my phone. Try call somebody.
Okay,
I do not have SIM card.
Let's take it back to the question.
No,
let's take it back to the
you
question.
accuse me of something. Let me defend myself. I do not have a card here. I do not have a card here.
I haven't even said. I haven't even said what we allege. What's going on? What's going on? No. There's a few questions I have. I have a few questions. Why has this just happened now? This is all a bit suspicious.
Don't worry, I won't bring it back because that was crazy. What just happened?
With food instead of cash.
And let me explain something to you, how the trade works. These people are, how can I say, they complain a lot. You been to Aragabo? Mm-hmm. You seen the multi-million-dollar hospital there?
We were having problems in Aragabo because I think you had been contacting some people.
I'm sorry. Do not accuse me of something I have not done. Here's my phone. Try call somebody.
Okay,
I do not have SIM card.
Let's take it back to the question.
No.
Let's take it back to the question.
You accuse me of something.
He looks like that looks like a cry for help. I may be mistaken, but after that.
Let me defend myself. I do not have a card here. I do not have a card here.
I haven't even said. What we allege. What's going on? What's going on? No. There's a few questions I have. I have a few questions. Why has this just happened now? This is all a bit suspicious. Less than 15 minutes into our sit-down, our interview was cut short. A government official said we didn't have permission to film, but we did. Said anything, I've asked barely 2 questions in here. I've not been able to put hardly anything to you. I'm pretty convinced that this was all set up to show that he was willing to talk to us, but that it was the government that was upset with the work that we're doing, and they're the ones that have stopped this. But this just shows how far he will go to try and stop journalists from digging into what's really happening here.
Barakat Hassan's intimidation continued after our interview. He filed a complaint against us with the police.
Based on what just happened and the situation that we find ourselves in, we are taking extreme precautions by duplicating these files into different formats on different drives and then going to try and sneak it out of the country.
The morning after the interview, we left Somaliland.
haddaba Barkat Jibriil Xasan oo ah ganacsadaha leh sharikada Asli Mehdi ayaa waxa kadib saxaafadda uu kula hadlay magaalada Hargeysa waxaana uu sheegay dadkaasi ajaanibka ah ee waraystay inaanay ahayn sida uu moodayay isagoo laamaha ammaankana uu sheegay arrintaasi in baaritaan lagu sameeyo.
On social media, he accused us of physically threatening him
and broadcast his footage of the interview on Somaliland TV.
way barkhadow dhawaan waraysi baad qola cadaan ku guleeyay taxaqiisa adigu sirdoon baad ku sheegtay sidee baad waraysi u siisay dad aanad garanayn meel ay ka shaqeeyaan iyo meel ay ka soo jeedaan
my one garanay halkii ka shaqeynay lagu ku ila soo xiriiray
sidee sirdoon ku noqdeen way
waxay ku noqdeen hawshii u socdeen baa noqon weyday wixii sheegteen sirdoonna maan ku sheegin ma waxa lagu sheegay Soomaaliga assassination squad baa la waa dadka dil loo diro.
We've gone from the intense Somaliland heat to the Vermont snow, and we're going to meet a woman called Anjanette DiCarlo, who is a frankincense expert, and she has more important, sensitive information that she's going to share with us.
Running while black is not running from anything. It's pushing forward, having everything. Communal. Powerful. We are here.
Anybody in here know what an entheogen is? Well, geeking out on plant chemistry. So an entheogen is any substance that causes a psychedelic effect on the brain. So that sounded more like speaking your language now. Frankincense is not quite that strong. But it does have an impact on the brain, on our TRVP3 pathway, which is a calming and warming sensation, opens up the brain for meditation. So it makes sense that it's burned in churches.
When she's not in the classroom, Dr. Anjanette DiCarlo is doing field research. Her work has been funded by major cosmetic and essential oil companies, including doTERRA. So this is like your favorite area?
It is, because I love to be around trees. Trees, that's how I got into frankincense, because it was about the trees for me, and studying the trees and what they can do and how they can grow with no soil and produce all this chemistry was so fascinating to me.
Dr. DiCarlo first visited Somaliland as a PhD student in 2010 to study if companies could create more ethical working conditions for communities.
And this is
that tree is completely
being bark stripped.
Yeah.
This is Mattermoge area, which has been for many years deep concern to me in terms of the overtapping and the pressures. You cannot overharvest these trees.
When she returned to do more research in 2016, she was shocked at the changes in the supply chain. She's published numerous peer-reviewed papers on frankincense and the impact that increased demand has on the trees.
There were new companies that had shown up on the scene, and they seemed to be driving a lot of the demand. It was unclear exactly how much each company, each supplier was buying and then exporting to the international market, except for one who kept bragging about very large numbers.
Who was that?
Asli Mehdi Company, the CEO of that company, Mr. Hassan, was one of the central figures who was organizing part of our visits and trips to different communities. The trees are not dying because of this amount of bark, that it's from the overharvesting. Here's the amount of wounds.
Over the next 2 years, Dr. DiCarlo started working closely with Hassan and admits she was initially charmed by him, even attracted to him, describing an emotionally charged relationship that was never acted on. She also says that he became increasingly manipulative and controlling and would avoid answering questions about his business practices.
I realized midstream that we had a really serious problem with unsustainable practices. A lot of times when I'd ask to see sustainable things or to see well-managed trees, it wouldn't happen. So that made me even more curious about what was going on. I was getting more assertive about asking questions directly to Mr. Hassan, and he really did not like that.
So you went from trusting him to having serious doubts about him. When did the relationship completely break down, and what happened?
I stayed close to him too long, and I got burned.
On one of her trips in 2018, DiCarlo says Hassan's driver asked her to bring $15,000 cash to this meeting with government officials, but she refused. There's no evidence that doTERRA was involved in this request, and Hassan denies that he attempted to pay a bribe to government officials. Later that night, Hassan called DeCarlo and extended an unusual invite to her team to come to his house.
And so, this is gonna get a little hard for me.
Take your time.
We're hanging out, we're having tea, and he turns to me and goes, hey, I wanna show you some very unique frankincense. I wanna show you something. Come here, let me just show you, it's over here. And he says, just down that last door. The door is propped open. And I go through the door and I look down and he pushes me through a second door and he locks the door and starts grabbing me. And I'm saying no. I'm saying, what are you doing? What the fuck is happening? Get off me, stop it, no. And he pushed me pretty hard and I fell on my knees and he sexually assaulted me. And while it was happening, I just kept looking at this dresser full of perfume bottles. And I don't know why I kept fixating on the perfume bottles, but that's how I was surviving what was happening. And my colleague starts banging on the door. And that gave me an opportunity because he jumped up and then got off me and I jumped up.
I'm so sorry you went through that. You say assaulted, raped. What went through your mind afterwards? Do you remember your thoughts?
That I wanted to just get out of there was the most pressing thing for me, that I was fixated on getting out of Somalia. I never thought anything could be done for me. It was a gray area. Somaliland's not a recognized country. I didn't report it to a police officer and embassy. There was no rape kit. There's no police investigation. I'm an independent contractor. So I really didn't think anything could be done for me.
Did you tell doTERRA?
When I got back to the United States, I reported it to a company that I was working with.
And how did they respond?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what their response was, but shortly after reporting it, I started receiving harassing texts from Mr. Hassan, saying, things like I'm a crazy bitch and I've accused him of rape.
So he knew that the company he was working for knew about what had happened. He knew that.
He knew somehow. Somebody told him that I had reported that he had assaulted me. And I still to this day do not know who told him that.
You've communicated with him since the rape?
Via text, yeah. I had this drive to get him to admit what he had done to me. I tried a more nuanced approach by being kind of nice on text. I got him to admit that he had been naughty and that he was sorry. So he knows what he did.
Naughty, really?
He knows what he did.
When you think about what happened to you, and when you think about the fact that Baraka Hassan is still out there and companies are still working with him.
Running while black is not running from anything. It's pushing forward, having everything. Communal, powerful. We are here.
What does that feel like?
I mean, it makes me sick. I mean, whether it's treating communities unfairly. I mean, people come to me, people call me and say, this guy has never paid me for the resins. Can you do something about it? All this chaos is going on, and that it seems to be pretty well known that this is a bad situation, and yet it just continues.
DiCarlo showed her texts with Hassan to Vice News, and we spoke to her colleague who was there and corroborated her version of events. We reached out to Hassan, and he denies raping DiCarlo and claims they were in a consensual sexual relationship, which began in 2016 and lasted a number of years. He says that text messages between them point to their consensual relationship and insists that she consented to sex at his home in November 2018. He also says that DiCarlo is well aware of the process involved in reporting unwanted conduct to the Somaliland authorities. He denies that the text exchange stating he'd been, quote, naughty, end quote, related to DiCarlo's claim of rape. Rather, he says that he was apologizing for an argument they'd had over a planned trip to Ethiopia. He also denied allegations about his business practices, saying, the frankincense trade in Somaliland is more sustainable than it's ever been in the past. Regarding payments, Hassan told Vice News that sometimes it isn't practical for local harvesters to receive full payment in cash, and that Asli Mehdi delivers food, medicine, and clothing, in addition to a monetary payment at a later stage, calling it common practice. Since our visit, Hassan posted on Facebook that he intends to sue the Somaliland government for allowing us to report in the region. He also posted a letter of support from doTERRA dated March 8th, which says Barkat Hassan has, quote, exacting oversight and professional execution, end quote. The letter goes on to say that his company has, quote, earned our trust by proving that all funds have been used for their intended objectives, end quote. doTERRA confirmed the letter's authenticity to Vice News. We're at doTERRA's headquarters in Utah, and we've come a long way to get here because we've called and we've emailed continuously to try and get an on-camera interview. And so far, they've just refused to meet us. So we've come here to try and speak to them face-to-face and get some answers finally. So my name is Hind Hassan. I'm a journalist at Vice News. And I'm wondering if there's somebody that I can speak to about some allegations that have been made against doTERRA's supplier in Somaliland.
If you guys just want to take a seat.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I've been told to ask you to leave.
Oh, but I thought that we were going to get somebody from PR to speak to us. Is that not the case?
Like I said, I'm just going to ask you to leave, and I don't know any of the background behind it. They don't want you here.
Okay. I guess there's nothing we can do. So we've come in, security has come, and they've told us that we have to leave. So that's what we're going to do. After visiting doTERRA's offices, we followed up with a detailed list of allegations, and they provided a statement that says, in part, doTERRA works closely with our independent sourcing partners to create ethical and sustainable supply chains anchored in our sourcing guiding principles, and continues, we take any allegation of improper conduct seriously, and as a result are commencing an investigation which will include outside counsel. Hassan told Vice News that he stopped buying resin from Abdullahi Awad 3 years ago, in part due to lower demand. He disputes Awad's claim about non-payment and questions Awad's motivation for appearing on camera. There are people all over the world who buy essential oils made from the frankincense that you create. Can you explain just what impact this has had on you and your community?
dadka idinna baasha u baahan tihiin caalamka u baahan yahay annana u baahannahay inaannu ka ganacsano iyadoo bayuurkeeda nala ka qaato nala ka iibsado cidda geed kale iyo cidda iibsadaysa xidhiir ka dhexaya in si nanaamsan oo runa naloo ka iibsado oon waxna lagu darin waxna lagu khaldin.
I'm Michael Learmonth, editor-in-chief of Vice News. Too often, traditional news outlets shy away from the real stories and experiences of those living through global conflicts. Not Vice News. Our reporters are on the ground, fearlessly covering the human stories that shape our world. You and millions of others can continue to read, watch, and listen to Vice News for free. But we hope you'll consider making
I said I would never go to Facebook with my problems, but y'all need to hear this. I'm working 4 motherfucking jobs, busting my motherfucking ass, man. I've been taking care of this girl since she was 19, man. We've been living together. I got 3 motherfucking jobs, man. I ain't never fooled around on or none of that, man. I come home from work tonight, and I knew something wasn't right because I was supposed to work a double. But I come home from work tonight, and even before I came home, excuse me, I'm out of breath. She keep calling me asking am I working a double, so I lie and tell her, yeah. I stick the key in the door. First off, when I get off the bus down the street from the house, I see a car parked in the driveway that I ain't never seen in the driveway before. So I stick the key in the door, man. I walks in and I hear goddamn bad rider running and shit, candles and shit laying in the bathtub. I walk in this motherfucking, man. It's a goddamn nigga naked, man. A nigga naked, man, standing in my motherfucking bathroom, man. The motherfucking nigga standing in my bathroom naked, man. Standing in my motherfucking bathroom naked, man. Got my bitch up on the sink, motherfucking candles and shit. Eating that motherfucking pussy, man. So you know what I did? I backed away, man. I went in the kitchen, the tool drawer. I came back. I busted the door, and I bust that bitch in her motherfucking head with this motherfucking hammer. Now this is to all you cheating ass bitches out there. Don't fuck around and let your man catch you. You go fuck around and get busted in your goddamn head with a hammer. Her goddamn ass laying goddamn in the garage right now. I'm about to cut this bitch up, put her in the trunk, and toss her ass over in the goddamn I'm about to toss this bitch in the motherfucking right over there on the Cincinnati Bridge. I'm going into Kentucky. They gonna find.
For educational purposes, I don't think this is real at all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out I Smoke Hip Hop. Shout out Kev Roll to you. Shout out Doggy Diamonds, Playback, I've Been Preach, Fresh and Fit, Reese, Russell Brand, Hassan, Kwame Brown, Miss 504, The Plainest Jane, even though they struck her channel down. Let's get that one back up, man. Shout out to everybody, man. But I don't think he's telling the truth. I think this is cap.
And this bitch floating by the Bengals practice field. Think I'm playing, man. I worked too goddamn hard for this. The goddamn nigga thought he just was gonna get up out of there, so I bust him in his motherfucking head with a hammer. He fell in the bathtub, and I threw the goddamn radio in the tub. He in there burnt up now. All you women out here fucking around on y'all's man, you dirty ass bitches, you ain't no good, you need to be killed. God damn it. And after this, I'm putting this on the internet. I'm going down to the police station and tell them, yes, I bust that bitch in the head with a hammer, and I threw the goddamn radio in the goddamn tub because they deserved it. God damn it. Can't believe this shit, man. Threw my life away, man.
Y'all think he really caught that body? I don't know. Actually, that's 2 he said he caught. I don't know, man. I'd have to hear about that one on the news. I need a verifying source. I'm sorry. Y'all not just gonna have me believe anything, man. That's not what we doing. No. That's not what we doing, y'all.
This is the first shooting caught on video at 11 a.m. yesterday. You can see the gunman dancing around in the street, apparently after firing the first shots. Then he props up the gun on top of the car, ready to fire more. Video number 2 at 2:30, the same house, the same gunman opens fire into the house, with 5 adults and 3 kids inside. One man in the house is shot in the hand but not seriously injured. You can see today the big front window of the house boarded up. By the time the gunman makes it back to his car, he's under fire.
Other homeowner fired back upon him as he ran back to his car. I think in the video you can see the back window being blown out.
Yep, straight along the fence line, right up ahead of you. He's about 6 yards out in front of you.
The manhunt went late into the night. You're riding in a state police chopper with night vision, helping officers on the ground close in.
He's getting up right now and running northbound. He's still carrying something, guys. Heads up.
Several officers from Detroit, Wayne County, Michigan State Police making the arrest.
They got him.
Great job, Scout.
It all happened without incident. They recovered these 2 guns and a car that were owned by this man, 41-year-old Stefan Hodo, a former Detroit cop from 2005 to 2013. He left the department with a clean record.
At the house, there does appear to be a little bit of a struggle. We just want to make sure that he's okay, he's fine.
Man got shot in his head. Think he fine? Nah, God bless, so he's still alive, bro. You know what I'm saying, man? I'll get popped in my head, I'm tight. Somebody gotta pay. I ain't sign up for that. I've seen this already, sorry. I'm not, let me see. Something. Let's go. Yeah, that's what I said.
You's a bad girl, gotta spank you. Gotta thank you for that big clinic. Explicit, hella photogenic. And tell your friends where the dick's at, where they can get hit and won't get back to their soulmate. Before you kiss them, use cold cake. She swallowed it, yeah, the bitch took the whole lake and ran with it and let mailman hit it.
Interesting conversation if the roles were reversed, and that was what you mean? If that was a grown man slapping on a young woman like that, I'm just saying, if the roles were reversed, it's crazy. Or if that was a little girl driving and there was a bunch of grown men there wilding out, like, that would be crazy. I'm not saying it in the sense of that's what guys want to do, just saying it in the sense of y'all gotta see the behavior is wild. Anyway, let's continue. What, I'm wrong? Get out of here. Cut it out. YouTube wrong. If you want to get technical with it.
A follow-up now to exclusive video we showed you last night of a man pulling out a gun in a subway station. Police say the man is a former law enforcement officer and was defending himself, so he was not charged. With New York's gun laws changing, CBS 2's Lisa Rosner looks into whether other passengers in the subways could soon report to using guns as self-defense as well.
In this exclusive video, the man on the train is yelling, "Shoot the gun," at someone on the 77th Street, Lexington Avenue platform. From this angle, you see that person brandish a firearm and point it at him. The NYPD says it was just before 1 p.m. Tuesday, and the gun holder is a retired sergeant. Police say he called 911 and was defending himself after the man on the train, 24-year-old Mark Alexander of Medford, Long Island, threatened to harm him, insinuated he had a weapon, and followed him. Alexander was arrested, and the retired NYPD sergeant was released from custody after questioning.
I think it is lucky that the person who used their weapon in this case was trained, didn't escalate too unnecessarily. However, when an untrained individual gets scared on the New York City subway, if the first thing they think is, let me draw my firearm, we're going to have a very different subway system in New York.
And that could soon be a reality, says Nick Soplina of Everytown for Gun Safety. Last week, the Supreme Court struck down New York's gun law, which restricted who can carry a concealed weapon and why beyond general self-defense.
Our hope is that the legislators in Albany will designate places like the subway sensitive places to keep guns out of interactions like this, but also to strengthen the permitting process itself.
And a former NYPD lieutenant tells me the NYPD does review all cases where a firearm is displayed.
But it goes back to the usage of a firearm should be a last resort. And that's something that the NYPD pistol permit section imposes upon all members that have acquired a pistol permit.
He says a firearm is only to be utilized when a person is in grave danger or serious physical injury and likely to die based on the actions of another. He expects the pistol permit unit will have even more permits to issue following the Supreme Court ruling. On the Upper East Side, Lisa Rosner, CBS 2 News.
Interesting. You know, I'm from the city, man, so we already know how Gotham get, especially when Batman died. But that's neither here nor there. What else we dealing with? Yeah, sorry, we're not condoning this. Let's just get off this one. My fault, yeah. A bunch of guns in the woods. Can't even watch that. I said this on the last video. Mary J. and Lil Durk in the same article really tells the type of times we in today. Neither here nor there. Alright. What else we got? Channel analytics. Oh sheesh, we basically cleared the cache for real. I didn't think it could be done. Hold on. Let's just end this on a good note. Oh no, it looked like we coming to the closing of this bull, and we might as well do so strong. Yeah, definitely gonna end strong on this one. Just watch that. I wanna peep some of these. Let's see what Israel said.
Was supplying kids for all these Ghislaine Maxwell just got put away for 20 years. So she was supplying kids for all these fucking pedos, right? Where's the list? Is that just gets like I don't know.
It's weird that got no coverage, but Johnny Depp and Amber was
everywhere. Yeah, and I'm like, so the list of, politicians and actresses and actors or whatever that they talked about, does that get swept under the rug? Do they not get any time for actually fucking those kids? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, that's weird that how that just doesn't compute with me.
This man whipping ass so he could speak his mind. That's what's up. But you know they wanted the kid to hear what he had to say if he would have lost that fight.
Inside the city or out here?
Just right here.
Okay. Go pull the video at Valero. You get on my traffic stop again, I will arrest you. Yeah, I'll arrest you right now. Do it, buddy. And we're going to do it. Charges against your ignorance. Do it, Ode. Go for it. Do it. There's cameras at Valero, and there's cameras at Napa that see you pulled out. Shut your mouth. You don't talk to me like that. I'm not your boy. Talk to you, boy. You a boy. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Count 302, status check.
Info.
Not cop on cop crime. Homie said, I'll arrest you. No, I'll arrest you. Oh, man.
Grand Theft Auto real life. Yeah, this the real life Grand Theft Auto. Oh, Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto real life. Yeah, you see it. Grand Theft Auto real life. Grand Theft Auto real life. Yes, sir. Grand Theft Auto. No.
I don't get it. In the new Grand Theft Auto, can you take roller coasters or something? Oh, the Santa Monica ride. Okay. I get it. Thank you for that. Thank you. If I didn't see this right here, I would have still been confused. So I appreciate it. Oh, God, about these guns in the woods, man. Talk about that. Gotta watch that on my own time, you know what I'm saying? What else we got? Alright, so can't watch this. Seen that one. Go watch that. Boy ends fight with one enemy move.
He's great. What do you mean? He's great. What do you mean?
She's old. She looks like she might be in her 70s. And she's interrupting the sale of a sandwich I'm ordering a two-piece sandwich. And she's telling, I'm not going to buy that because she put the window down on that so you can start another one. So she's arguing with me. A young lady is trying to do my sandwich. So she stops serving a customer. She had a customer at the register. She stopped serving him. She came down to the prep table and stopped the young lady that's fixing a sandwich. She told her no. The young lady was doing like they usually do. They put 46 pieces. And I'm ordering a ham and turkey. she told the young lady, no, take all the meat off that she had put on the sandwich. She said, no, you take that off and only put 4. So I told her she needs to go back to Mexico. She's going to have to swim the waters back. That's why Trump is sending all of them back right now in a truck. He's trying to do border.
It was already going left, but that just did a whole loop-de-loop. Like, what the fuck?
Patrol, she's the one making it bad for people that's really coming over here trying to work and get their job done. She's yelling out in the place, there's another customer. She's screaming and yelling, no, 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 4. So how many pieces go on there?
4.
Yes, that's what I told her. That's what the young lady was putting on there. Exactly. And I told her, I say, ma'am, that's the amount that they put all the time. She said, no, no, no. I'm the manager here. I'm the manager. And I said, well, they don't do that. I said, can you fix it like it's supposed to? Right. That's the exact amount that she was. Right. So that was right. I told her that. She said, oh, no. It don't go like that. No.
Yeah, I think she was really on the phone with somebody. Hey, I don't believe she was. I don't believe that. What's this now? Stealing wigs.
This lady got caught stealing wigs from this local bussiness in Portland.
You guys, just let her.
She was not wanting to give them back, so the owner got a taser out.
I will come back. And I will. Oh, yeah, you took care of that. So, go down, go up. I don't want you to let it go. You can go. Let me go.
Owner got them back, and the lady was not wanting to leave.
Oh my God! Move! You move! No, you move! No!
Then I said, I'll walk you out, and she finally left.
Hello? Come on. Come here, yeah. Yeah. It's an hour. Yeah, it's an hour. Uh-huh. 미친 개 같은 년이가 있어. 어? Naughty. She's so right there. I don't think I needed to get hurt. Oh, yeah, gonna get hurt. She doesn't want her to get hurt. Oh my God. Yeah. Did she touch you? Oh my gosh. She touched you? Yeah, well, they were fighting.